Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the I Am CEO podcast.
Hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have PYTyinna Singleton of Around-the-Lectual Girl. PYTyinna, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Super excited to have you on. And what I wanted to do was just read a little bit more about PYTyinna so you can hear about all the awesome things that she's doing. And PYTyinna is the creator of Around-the-Lectual Girl, a lifestyle brand that seeks to showcase authenticity, spread love, and spark growth in marginalized individuals. She is a video blogger and inspiring podcaster. And through her daily videos, PYTyinna allows the world to experience her highs, lows, and life lessons. All this is in an effort to motivate and inspire others to become a better version of themselves and achieve personal fulfillment. PYTyinna, are you ready to speak to the I Am CEO community?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Let's do it. So the first question I had was to hear a little bit more about like what I call your CEO story and what led you to start your business.
What led me to start my business? So it was kind of on accident. To be completely honest, I stumbled across it. So a little bit about myself. I'm 29 years old. I am a wife. I'm a mother of twins. I'm a video blogger when I'm not working my 9 to 5 or my weekend job. So I have a very, very busy life. I'm from a very small town. I always felt like I had big dreams and I wanted to achieve so much, but it wasn't until I left from out of that small town, actually Morgan City, Louisiana, at about 17 years old, that I realized I was really ill prepared for the world. I got a lot of pushback with a lot of things. I started to become very uncomfortable with how ill prepared I realized I was. Everything from my accent to my unconventional personality. I've been told a lot of people from Louisiana are special people, and I learned that very quickly. Coming out of a small town and out of my comfort zone, I felt like a fish out of water. But eventually, so I kind of hit a rough patch in life. I was working a lot of jobs that really wasn't fulfilling. I hated them, to be completely honest. The money was tight, and all of my attempts to try to, achieve different endeavors would just fail. Left and right. So I started to get discouraged. I'm like, man, I got to do something, but, I feel like I need some direction so I can try to get myself together and keep the hope of achieving my dreams. And I went looking for like different classes and, all this lifestyle stuff, things like that. But I couldn't really find anything that fit me. I felt, to be completely honest, very discouraged. I felt unworthy of a lot of the classes. I was finding a lot of stuff on budgeting and, investing and credit. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to pay the rent. I'm like, I'm not ready to budget. I'm trying to figure out how to pay the rent. I know my money's tight. I'm not spending it anywhere because I don't have any. So I went through that whole phase for a while, just feeling very discouraged, and when I would find something that just was never candid enough to me, it was so pretty and flowery. And I'm like, this is not helping me. This is not helping me at all. So one day I was in the Wendy's drive-thru getting a 4 for $4 on my lunch break. And back when I was still eating horrible. And I hit the record button on my phone and I started recording me just getting my thoughts out. And it was really just a type of therapy for me. At that moment, I guess I sort of created what I was looking for, but on accident.
That's how you got started. I absolutely love that. It's funny because a lot of times, people will, start things not necessarily because they have this grand, big vision or anything like that. It's just that they're looking for something and they don't feel like they can ever find it. And the next thing you know, they're in a Wendy's drive-thru or wherever, and they're just saying, hey, why don't I just start creating? And next thing you know, you start to attract other people because other people are looking for the exact same thing. And that sounds like that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. It was so on accident. I couldn't, sit here and I wish I had a fancy story that said, I always wanted to do this. But the truth is, I never knew that, this would bring me so much joy, let alone help so many people. And I'm humbled by it, to say the least. But I was looking for something. I felt discouraged. I don't come from a very pretty background. I always felt like, other people had so many different opportunities. And like I said, when I really got outside of, my little Louisiana town, I really started to see all the stuff that people had. And, I just didn't. So it was so discouraging, like how somebody like me will be able to achieve X, Y, and Z. Nobody that was doing what I wanted to do looked like me, and if they were going through what I was going through, they weren't talking about it, So I was like, I just don't feel a place, man. Like I don't fit none of these molds. And I just started recording, really trying to, walk myself through trying to chase my dreams and chase self-fulfillment and becoming a better person. And somehow it turned into Around-the-Lectual Girl brand. And here I am.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited to have you on and hear a lot more about everything that you're doing, because a lot of times people are going through things and going through difficulties, and sometimes they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But the fact that you've been able to do that, you've been able to see that light, and now you're kind of helping other people see that light as well too. Definitely appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I know you touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to hear a little bit more about Around-the-Lectual Girl. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing and some of the things you're doing to help support the clients you're working with.
Around-the-Lectual Girl. Well, first of all, the name Around-the-Lectual Girl kind of comes from my around the way girl kind of demeanor. At first conversation with most people, they always say, I'm very unconventional, in my ways, but my commentary is very intellectual. So between the two, I kind of meshed and came up with Around-the-Lectual Girl. And it's kind of just what I went with. But the brand itself, Around-the-Lectual Girl itself, the definition of it is, one who's confident, independent, driven. You possess a high level of intellect, real sharp attitude, a life of the party, all these things that describe me. I define my own definition of beauty. I do everything from heels to chucks with dirt on the toe, and I'm bursting with personality. I am who I am, and I try to own every last bit of that. But the brand itself, was just what it was that I explained to you. Basically, I use social media, video blogging, podcasting as my outlet, but my intention is to reach marginalized individuals and kind of create a safe space, if you will, for communication, fosters love and has emotional support, and really sparks people to grow. So I do all of those things through like authentic conversations, and just displaying my own journey to self-improvement into personal fulfillments. And I try to be as candid as I can with that by just showcasing my own, not just talking about it and telling people, you can do it, you can do it. I mean, we've been hearing that since, the earliest days of school. Your kindergarten teachers like, you can do it, yeah, that sounds great. I can do it, but I failed 10 times, lady. Like, I'm not feeling so I can do it right now. You know what I'm saying? I hear you, but you're not saying much to me. So I'm not so much into just, talking about it and trying to make people feel a certain way. Like, I want to show people through my own efforts that not only am I going to tell you what it is that I experienced and how I dealt with it, but I'm going to show you the effects that it has had on my own life, in hopes that you would at least try to do the same thing, So that's pretty much what it is. I tell people all the time, I'm not a life coach, I'm not a counselor, I'm not any of those things, at least not yet. My full intent is really just to speak to people like me, marginalized individuals. Don't come from, a pretty background or, financial stability or anything like that, but you have dreams, you have aspirations, you have hopes, whether it be to own your own business or run a certain company or just be personally fulfilled and be a decent person. A lot of stuff we weren't taught, and I'm here to talk about those things, and I'm here to love you through it. I'm all about spreading love, letting people know that, I love you and I care about you, positivity, really pushing that out there and getting people comfortable, be able to talk about a lot of things that we just don't, and kind of work our way through the process of being who we want to be instead of accepting what it is that life gave us. And
you might have touched on this a little bit, but I wanted to ask you for what I call your secret sauce. And this is what you feel kind of distinguishes you or sets you apart.
So my secret sauce is me. I'm my secret sauce. I put my all on the table. I speak directly from my heart. Whatever is on my heart to discuss, that's what I discuss. And I think that's resonated with a lot of people. Just being regular, degular, smegular old me, it's nothing fancy about it. There's nothing special about it. I wish I could say that I had a special recipe that I can whip up, but it's not. I get up in the morning and, whatever is on my heart to discuss, whether I might have an idea to want to talk about something via video blog the day before, but something may have happened, or I may have just wake up with something on my heart, and I try to discuss it the best way I can, and kind of give some solutions or kind of explain to people how I navigated through similar issues, to try to help push people through these things that we all encounter in life. And I don't try to, make it pretty or sugarcoat it. I am who I am, and I don't try to hide that. I give you full blown me if you watch any of my video blogs. But I guess the relatability seems to help people a lot to be able to get some of those feelings out. So I am my own secret sauce.
I love that. Definitely. That makes perfect sense. And that resonates because a lot of times, you being who you are and having your life experiences and being able to tell your story is what distinguishes you and sets you apart and sets everything that you do apart, because it's an extension of what you are and who you are and everything you value. So I definitely appreciate that. And I wanted to switch gears a little bit and ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And this might be an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but it's something that makes you more effective and efficient.
A CEO hack. Oh, you know what? So something that I found first and foremost that has helped me tremendously. As a kid, I was very forgetful. I've always been very scatterbrained. I can't keep still. I'm always like, So, my mom would always say, write it down. If you can't remember, write it down. Most kids always, their excuse is always, I forgot. I really just couldn't remember to save my life. So she would always tell me, if you can't remember, write it down. So I started carrying a notebook. And, anytime I have a thought about something, whether it's an idea for my brand or whether it's just a thought of something that I want to do personally to work on myself or whatever, whatever I'm thinking, I carry a notebook. Another thing that I've used very often to just skim through for like templates and stuff for business documents is score.org, I want to say it is. And they have all type of templates for like small businesses and financial documents. And not because I'm so disciplined by far. I hate it. I'm from Louisiana. We love food. I'd rather get full than work out, but I do it because jumpstarting my day with a workout, really like gets me moving, it gets me like really going, gets me up. It starts to, make my wheels really turn. I'm able to be more productive throughout the day and even have more energy, that in combination with trying to make better food choices. Because as a mom, as a wife, as a creative, I work a full-time job, I work a part-time job, you get spread thin. And if you're not properly taking care of your body, you'll feel it quickly. But you would think that the effects would be even more so getting up and working out every day. But if I don't do that workout, I don't have the energy to do all the things that it is that needs to be done in a day. So that's actually 3 hacks of mine. I carry a notebook, I work out every morning, and I check out Score for any templates and stuff related to business.
Awesome. And I love those CEO hacks. Now, I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO nugget. And this is a word of wisdom or piece of advice. If you could hop into a time machine, what would you tell your younger business self?
Man, a lot. Just from coming from that background of like, not having very much to go off of, I would say that the opportunity that you're looking for might not always be there, but your drive will give birth to opportunity. So, some people are fortunate enough to have things placed in front of them, and no discredit to them for what they achieve or, it's great. But a lot of us don't, and it's easy to get discouraged when you don't have the opportunity right in front of you. It's like, hey, I want to start a business. Okay, well, you don't know nobody who owns a business. The first thing about running a business, you don't have the money to start a business. It's just all these different things that you could think of that's working against you. But if I could say anything, first and foremost to my younger self, I would say just because the opportunity is in front of you, don't mean you can't create it. Your drive, if you keep working at it, you keep trying, you keep getting up when you fall, eventually, somebody is going to notice and somebody is going to open the door. Oh, you know what? You know what else I would say though? Plan, and then plan to fail because you're going to fail. And then plan again. So,
exactly.
That's it.
So I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And Tyinna, we have different quote unquote CEOs on the show, but I wanted to ask you, what does being a CEO mean to you?
Okay, so being that I don't offer a tangible product. I don't have a product that I sell that you can touch, feel, I feel like being a CEO, at one point it was all about, owning physical business, a building that you can touch, a product that you can sell, but in light of so many creatives and like so many wonderful people that's doing so many different things, that definition I feel like definitely has to adapt with the times. And I feel like, a CEO in its essence is a person or creator of his or her own. If you create something, then you're the CEO of whatever that thing is, whether you can touch it, whether you can smell it, see it, whatever it is. It may be tangible, it may not, but, still in all, I feel like that person is a CEO because you've created your own.
I appreciate you. Tianna, what I wanted to do was pass you the mic just to see if there's anything additional you want to let our readers and our listeners know. And of course, how best they can get a hold of you and find out about everything you're doing from your brand.
Okay, well, my brand, Around-the-Lectual Girl, I post motivational video blogs every single morning, Monday through Friday. So if you're looking for a morning push, you can find me on all your social media outlets at official ATL Girl. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Around-the-Lectual Girl. And you can email me if you have any questions or you just need a listening ear. Like I said, I'm not a life coach, I'm not a therapist, I'm not any of those things. I'm just a regular old person that's willing to listen, and you can get my honest opinion. If you ever need to talk about anything, my inbox is always open, and that's aroundthelectualgirl@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, Tianna, I truly appreciate you for everything awesome that you're doing. Appreciate your time today, and we'll make sure to have all those links in the show notes so that everybody can follow up with you. But I hope you have a phenomenal rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast powered by Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at IAM201.co. I Am CEO is not just a phrase, it's a community. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Grab CEO gear at www.ceogear.co. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless. Thank you for listening.